Hello and welcome back to Trucking Panthers. Today's going to be a slightly different video. We're taking a look back at the last day of July 2021 when I was working as a minicab driver. COVID had been really difficult. There just wasn't fares around, so you really had to take what you could get. Now, this was a £20 job that I'd been offered to go and pick somebody up from Lingfield racecourse. I was probably 10 minutes away at the time I got the job, or at least I thought I was 10 minutes away, because I didn't realise that there was a major event going on there, and I didn't realise it was going to take me, best part of an hour to what would have been pick up the fare. As you'll see from the rest of this video, the £20 most definitely was not worth it, and actually this fare ended up ending my career as a cab driver about a year later. But let's have a look at what happened. So my understanding of what you see initially as the car comes into frame, basically at the main entrance to Lingfield Racecourse, they were pulling a rope across in between the cars to basically stop the cars so that the pedestrians could cross out of the exit. And obviously they're used to doing this, used to handling big crowds. But this moron did not want to wait and drove through the rope, dragging people with him, which is why you then see people running up to the car. And at this point, he just decides to go for it and ram his way through the middle of the cars, which unfortunately he squeezes through the first couple in front, obviously brushing them, doing damage to them, but then goes absolutely full tilt into the front corner of my car. Then hits the rear corner as it spins round. He then drives up the grass bank, runs people over there before managing to get away at the time. He hit me, causing over £20,000 worth of damage, a little bit of whiplash for myself. He then ran multiple people over and put 3 people in hospital over the weekend. You can actually see when I zoom in on the car, you can actually see that there are 2 people in the car. You can also, in my opinion, get a likeness of the guy driving the car, and more to come on that later. But yeah, basically he brushes the car in front and then rams into the front corner of my car, which causes my car to spin, and he also hits the back of my car, which you don't really get a sense of from the video, but you will on the photos that I'm going to show you shortly. A nasty incident all round. Here are some headlines from the next day and a couple of days after the incident. You can see that a number of major UK news organisations were covering the story. The Racing Post also detail that a man has been arrested. We'll go into a little bit more detail on that now. A day after the incident, the police arrested a 23-year-old male. And at this time, it looked like everything was going to plan, going as it should. I sent over the footage that I had, although I made it clear to the police that I believed I may have higher quality than what they received. I never got a reply back. I obviously was interviewed by the police on the day, so gave initial statements, although obviously I was probably a little bit shaken, a little bit shocked. So I can't really remember everything I said. I can remember prior to seeing the footage, I did correctly identify that it was a white Corsa van. I don't remember too much else. I certainly didn't realise that there were two people in the car at the time. But yeah, gave all the bits over, and over the next year, I would regularly send the police emails asking for updates. Never once got a reply. Only really some 14 months after the incident did I start to get some actual information back from the police, and basically that's where I realised that they absolutely had not done their job properly and were not prepared to do their job properly. Just a absolute shambles of an investigation. Just top to bottom a shambles. I'll show you some of the communication that I had with the police here. It's just ridiculous. The 23-year-old that they arrested claimed that he had sold the car the day before. I have this incredible sales receipt that he produced. Let's just call it amazing. The police found his phone in the car, despite the fact that he sold it the day before. They found his phone in the car. They interrogated that phone, so one would imagine they would look at when the last text messages were sent, etc. But apparently the police were either unwilling or unable to do this, but they definitely got into the phone. So here they had a 23-year-old arrested. He's the registered owner of the car, even though he claims he sold it the day before. His insurance was still active on the car. I mean, I know lots of 23-year-olds that like to pay insurance on cars that they no longer own. But yeah, so his car, his phone found in the car. I'm pretty sure that if I find somebody on YouTube who is able to clean up the footage that I have, I'm pretty sure you could get a good likeness out of the footage that I have, but we'll see. They had so many witnesses there. They had all the evidence I've already detailed above, and yet they never even asked the CPS, the Crown Prosecution Service, they never even asked them for a charging decision. So, in my view, just absolute and utter complete incompetence. The police just don't want to investigate anything unless they want to investigate it. They in my daytime job as a lorry driver, they would rather hold you at the side of the road for 2 hours when you had a blowout or something, because they take the opportunity to then start investigating your full load, hoping that they might be able to fine you for some different things when you've just had a unlucky accident or something. When they have incidents like this, and you'll see from the email back and forth that I had with them that just completely unwilling, total incompetence, and just unwilling, but really poor. So the upshot of it was that after 15 months, the Surrey police NFA'd it, no further action against the suspect, basically closed down the case. You might have thought, get on with your life, it's over with now. Unfortunately, my unscrupulous previous insurance company, who I was with at the time of the incident, obviously after the incident I'd sent them the dashcam footage, everything, which I'm sure you'll all agree shows that in no way, shape or form was the incident my fault. The insurance company agreed and treated it as non-fault. That is until the police NFA'd it, because that now meant, look, we needed to go through the uninsured, they call it the MIB now, the Motor Insurance Bureau, but basically the uninsured motor bureau, as basically they argued his insurance, though it was still live, did not cover it as he had sold the car. Because his pencil written receipt was incredibly believable. So 15 months, something like that later, I was now with a new insurer. I was now driving a much more prestige car. I was driving a top of the range Tesla. All of a sudden, my new insurance contacted me saying that they had received confirmation from my previous insurer that the incident was fault. So my roughly £3,000 private hire insurance that I had at the time was now going to more than double, which, we were coming out of COVID. I was struggling to pay my fees as a cab driver as it was, never mind, massively increasing my monthly payment for my private hire insurance. It just wasn't feasible. So, there were other factors as well, but basically I now couldn't make any money as a cab driver. I'd already, partly due to this, I'd already sued the insurance company over a sort of side incident of this, and I'd received a small payout for that. But everything was just taking so much time, and it was so much hassle. I just couldn't really take it anymore. So I just abandoned being a private hire driver and let my license expire. But ending with a positive, after doing some home deliveries for a while, I decided to do my HGV license. I managed to get some government assistance to get my HGV license, and that ended up being a very positive thing. So out of the dark comes the light. I hope you enjoyed this video. Parts of it were, I don't want to say traumatising, but parts of it, particularly reading some of the emails from the police, were incredibly frustrating to go back and look through. I have a lot of frustration regarding this whole incident. So yeah, some of it was pretty frustrating to go back over. But I hope it makes for a good video. And like I say, something good came out of it in the end. No one was seriously hurt in the end, and in a weird way it set me on my path to become a HGV driver. Please give me a like and subscribe, and if you enjoy trucking videos, then follow me over at Trucking Panthers.